Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Lottie and today I'm going to be sharing with you my August TBR. So I'm going to do things a little bit differently this month because I've been feeling quite slumpy in July. I think it's just the books that were chosen for me from my usual TBR game. So I'm just going to sort of mood read this month, but I kind of know what books I'm in the mood for. So I'm not going to be doing the TBR scrolls today or for this month, whatever, because I just don't want to. I will talk you through what I had on my TBR for last month like I do every month, so let's do that. So in July I had a few cards and a couple of mystery mugs. So the first prompt I got was from the mystery mug and that chose Charlotte's Web for me, and I haven't read this one. Then I pulled the card in a mirror and the prompt on that was to read a book that is out of my comfort zone, and the book I chose for that one was The Death of Mrs. Westaway, and I have read that one. Then I pulled the Bard's College and the prompt on that was to read a book relating to music or poetry, and so for that I chose Checkmate, and I am currently reading this and I am quite enjoying it. So I don't know if I'll finish it in July, but if not, I'll carry it over to August. And then finally I got another mystery mug, and the book that chose for me was the Sookie Stackhouse Stories collection, and I haven't read this one. So those are 3 of the 4 books that I had on my July TBR. So 2 out of 4 isn't bad. I'm just really not in the mood for this, and I'm really not in the mood for this. If I finish all the books I'm going to talk about in this video for August, I will then prioritise these 2 because I would like to read every book that's on my TBR. I'm just not in the mood for everything all the time. I also had The Host carried over from June in July, and I haven't read that yet either. It's been a weird month in July. I've read a couple of books that I rated really low, so I think that probably didn't help. But if you want to know all my thoughts on the books that I did read in July, keep an eye out for my wrap up. I'm going to try and post it a little bit sooner in the month this time than I did with my June one, but yeah. I'm just gonna go with a clean slate in August because I need to read books that I'm excited about, otherwise I just don't like reading. Instead of using my TBR game to pick books in August, I'm kind of using prompts for the 3 readathons that I'm doing. So the first one is Camp Spoopathon, hosted by the one and only Spoopy Hall, and that is the first week of August. And the concept of this is that we are at a summer camp where there is a murderer, and we basically need to get from Lake Death back to the cabin, and we do like a bunch of different prompts along the way for like the, I guess, checkpoints. Each of the books that we read will get a certain number of points to escape a killer, essentially. I've kind of planned what I want to read that week based on the points, but I'm kind of just gonna read what I want in the order I want because I don't want to restrict myself. So I've chosen 3 books that I would like to read that week, and all 3 of these books are very Spoopy Hall approved, and you'll see why. So the first book I'm going to read in August for Camp Spoopathon is probably going to be Gallant by V.E. Schwab, and this will fulfill 2 of the prompts on the map. So the first one is Campfire Alpha, which is to read a ghostly book, and the second one is Sleepy Hollow, which is to read a book at nighttime, which I do a lot of my reading before I go to sleep, so it will fulfill that prompt in part anyway. And then it will also fulfill the bonus prompts for Queer and a book that was recommended to you. It is quite short. I could probably try and finish it in a day, but I doubt that's going to happen. So that's the first book I would like to read in August. I don't really know much about it other than like a girl goes to this old house that she's inherited or something like that. I read Addie LaRue earlier this year and really loved it, so I would like to try another V.E. Schwab book. So I'm going to go with this one because it's the only one that I own. So the second book that I plan to read in August is Mina and the Undead by Amy McCaw, and this will fulfill the prompt Toolshed, which is to read a book featuring murder, and the second prompt Brad Oak, which is to read a book that is thrilling. So the blurb of this says that Mina discovers a body with puncture marks in the neck, so I'm kind of going to take that as being a murder. But yeah, this is another Spoopy Hall approved book. And the bonus prompts that this will fulfill are summer, to read a book with a summer setting, and to read a book that's been recommended to you. So yeah, that's another one that I'd like to read in August for Camp Spoopathon, and basically it's about vampires. I don't really know much about it again, but I like to go into books not knowing too much about it. But like, everyone has been raving about this book recently. I have really wanted to read it for quite a while. It's just finding the right time to pick it up, so I'm going to pick it up in August. And I think this was from one of my gift exchanges for Patreon, probably at Christmas. It was either Ro or Spoops'. So this one is from Jen, so thank you Jen for gifting it to me. And then the other book that I would like to read for Camp Spoopathon is Afterlove by Tanya Byrne, and this can fulfill quite a lot of the prompts. So it will fulfill the ghostly prompt, it will fulfill the deadly romance prompt, it will fulfill a book for sprinting because I can read any of the books will fulfill the prompt for sprinting because you just have to join in on sprints. It will also fulfill the book to read together. Reading together, if you're reading on sprints with other people, it will count for that. It will also fill the queer prompt, the queer bonus prompt, and also the recommended to you bonus prompt. So there we go. And this one is about a girl who dies on New Year's Eve, and she becomes a reaper, so she has to take people who are dying to the afterlife, and she wants to still see her girlfriend after she dies or something. So yeah, I'm very interested in this one. I've got it on my Kindle, but it's not a priority over these two for the readathon. That's kind of like an extra if I have time. So the second readathon that I'm going to be doing in August is Aurelium magical readathon. You know, pretty much everybody knows what this is. However, I don't like the prompts for the August edition of this. I really don't like the prompts for it. So some of the books that I'm going to talk about for the rest of this video might fit the prompts that I've got, but what I'm kind of planning is to just try and read X amount of books that would fulfill the prompts. So my character that I've kind of been developing over the last 12 months through the different readathons for Aurelium, she will ultimately either follow the herbologist career path or the beastmaster career path. So to be a herbologist, I need a Q in alchemy and a Q in restoration, which will be equivalent to 4 books. Or to be a beastmaster, I need an O in elemental studies, a D in animal studies, an O in alchemy, and a Q in restoration, which is equivalent to reading 7 books. So a few of those prompts do cross over. And I just don't like any of them. So for the herbologist, the prompts are to read a book on somebody's worst list, read an orange book, read a book with a single object as the focus on the cover, and to read one of the oldest books on my TBR. And then for Beastmaster, the prompts are to start a book with a drink, to read a book with a familiar or an animal companion, to read a book with a raven on the cover or in the title, to read a book with a rabbit or a hare on the cover or title, to read a book on somebody's worst list, to read a book with a single object as the focus of the cover, and to read the oldest book on your TBR. I completed all the classes that I needed in April, was it? To do either of those career paths. Some of the prompts I definitely can manage, so I'll try and get those done. Gallant I can use for the worst books one because a lot of people on Goodreads have given it 2 stars, so I can use it for that. But the ones that it's Raven on the cover, a hare on the cover, an animal companion, oldest book on my TBR, they're probably not going to get done. So I'm going to try and read 7 books to be the Beastmaster and fulfill a couple of those prompts. I know this is cheating, I don't care. It's a game, it's meant to be fun. I'm not going to try and force myself to read books I'm not interested in reading for a game. So I'm just going to try and read 7 books basically throughout the month, and then I'll say that I completed this round of the readathon. Sue me. And then the third readathon I'm going to do in August is Polarthon, the fishing tourney. I've never done a Polarthon before, mainly because the kind of general theme of Polarthon is to read polar fantasy books. I don't really have any polar fantasy books. It's not a genre I'm particularly interested in, but the interesting thing about this round of Polarthon is you basically just have to read as many pages as you can to catch fish to feed the polar bears. So I'll leave the link to the announcement video in the description. It's obviously hosted by Jedi Ray Reads. She's the creator of Polarthon. And the idea is for every 100 pages you catch 1 fish, and you want to read as many pages as you can, catch as many fish as you can to feed the polar bears. So that's something I'm going to be kind of doing during the month because it's really easy and there's no prompts. And what Jade is doing, and I know a couple of other people are doing, is that they're going to donate like £1 for every fish that they catch, for every 100 pages that they read. So I'm planning to do that as well. So at the end of the month I will donate to Jade's fundraiser thing with however many pounds are equal to however many pages that I've read, or 100 so pages that I've read. So yeah, that's the thing I would like to try and do if possible, you know, circumstances change, but yeah, that's something I'm planning to do anyway. So yeah, I usually talk about my readathons at the end of my TBR videos, but I talk about them at the start today, so yeah. Anyway, so I have a few other books that I would like to read in August, so I'll talk you through those now. So I have a couple of like book clubs, read-alongs that I'm doing in August. So the first one is the one that I do every single month, and that's by the Angel Along, and in August we are going to be reading Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare, and this is the final book in the Infernal Devices series, and I'm just going to tell you guys now, I have loved this series so much so far. I'm so excited but also very scared for the last one, and I don't want it to end. This is so much better than The Mortal Instruments, and I need more in this vein, so I'm very excited for, I don't know what the name of the trilogy is, but like the newest one that she's been publishing basically. I can't even remember the titles of any of the books, but the one that's like, is it the kids of the characters in these books? I think that's kind of like who it's about. I'm very excited for it basically, so I'm yeah, this one, it's going to be painful. I think it's going to be very painful, but yeah, I am very excited to read this one. And the second one is Spoops' Patreon like buddy read that we do like every couple of months. So for the book that we chose for July and August is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This is a sci-fi, it's like a cozy sci-fi it's been described as, and I'm very excited to read this because I've heard a lot of good things about it. This was gifted to me by a Secret Santa who is Sarah / Soft Drummer Boy online, so thank you Sarah for this, the gift. Yeah, so I'll be reading that in August as well. And then another book I would like to read is Honey and Ishu's Guide to Fake Dating by Adiba Jaigirdar, which is a young adult sapphic like contemporary romance about these two girls who fake date and probably end up actually dating by the end of it. I wanted to read this because partway through July to partway through August is South Asian Heritage Month in the UK, so I wanted to read a book by a South Asian author to sort of just commemorate that, I guess. So I'll be reading this one. And then finally what I would like to read in August is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas, the 4th book in the Throne of Glass series. I am very, very hyper aware that we are approaching the end of the year now. We are past the halfway mark, and one of my things I wanted to do in 2022 was finish this series and finish the Noughts and Crosses series, and I'm not doing very well on that, so I want to continue on with this series so that I can hopefully finish it before the end of the year. So I think something I might try and do from now until the end of the year is to try and fit one of these books on my TBR at the very least, and maybe the same for the Noughts and Crosses series as well. There are 4 books I still need to read in Throne of Glass. There are 3 more books I still need to read in Noughts and Crosses. It's doable. Whether or not I do it is another question. So yeah, you guys probably know what this is all about. Selena is an assassin. That's it. That's all you need to know. I've been really apprehensive about continuing on with this series because I didn't like Air of Fire, but I did really like The Assassin's Apprentice. That's not the name of the book. The Assassin's Blade. It's called The Assassin's Blade. Too many assassin books. Yeah, I really enjoyed The Assassin's Blade, so I'm excited to see how this carries on, but it's really long. It's like over 600 pages. Yeah, I've kind of been putting it off though because as you guys know, I'm sort of rereading the ACOTAR series, and I don't want to like read more than one Sarah J Maas book at a time if I can help it. I will put my reread on the back burner and actually continue on with the series I've not read yet. So yeah, I'm reading that as well in August. So that is it. Those are all the books that I'm planning to read in August, obviously minus Afterlove because I don't have a physical copy of it. Yeah, I'm very excited about this TBR compared to the last couple of TBRs that I've had. These are all books I'm very interested in reading very soon. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good reading month for me. I think we're going to have a lot of 4 and 5 stars again rather than 2s and 3s. Just wait till you see my July wrap up, guys. It's just, I'm just gonna have probably a very big cry more than anything. Yeah, so let me know if you have read any of these books before and what you thought of them, and which book that I should pick up first. And very quickly, because I forgot to mention at the start of the video, as you know, I was on a book buying ban in July because I failed my June TBR scrolls TBR. Was that? Yes? I think that's what it was. This is officially over. I am no longer on a book buying ban. However, it has been very healthy for my bank account to restrict the number of books that I've been buying. So I'm going to try and still not buy excessive amounts of books because I don't need them. I don't need them. I have a full TBR cart. A lot of the books behind me now I haven't read yet either because I don't have any space for them on my TBR cart. So this can go back into the pack for future TBR scrolls. And yeah, goodbye. So that was it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a big thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below what you're reading in August. If you haven't already and you would like to be, please do consider subscribing to my channel. I'm going to try and post a new video every single week, and I'll see you very soon with a new video. Bye!